Hi, Melanie Gibbs here, and I wanted to talk to you today about how to identify triggers. One of the most common questions that my clients do ask is how they actually identify the triggers in their daily life. So first and foremost, what we want to do is we want to look at going further than the obvious. So a classic example is if you were somebody that was exposed to physical, mental, or emotional abuse growing up, the obvious is hearing, seeing, or experiencing that in the now. Those are the obvious ones, yeah? Why it's important is because when we identify a trigger, then we can actually understand how it actually affects our cellular memory, yeah? Because when we're triggered or activated, that's a more appropriate word, when we're activated in our everyday life, our cellular memory is what's being activated. So our body goes straight into that moment in time when that trigger or that experience happened. So what I'm saying by that is the body has no concept of time, only the mind does. So even though the mind stays in the now, the body goes back to the original or the origin of when that happened. So an example of that is if something happened when you were a toddler, then even though you're in your, say, 50s or 40s now, what happens when you're triggered is your body automatically goes back to that time frame of when you were a toddler. So even though you're in the now, the body's gone back to that time, the head is in the now, and now there's like a discord of what's happening. So the behavior ends up being from that time frame of being a toddler. So what we want to do then is, first and foremost, before we get into how we deal with that, we want to first of all identify the triggers. Yeah. We're looking at scent, sound, and action. Yeah. Scent. What we don't know is at the time that that happened, there could be like a cologne, or maybe there was an air freshener or something happening in the background that our body remembers, but our brain doesn't. Yeah. We've also got sound. Sometimes it could be a song. Sometimes it could be a train or traffic, something happening in the background at the time that the action happened, creating the trigger. And then of course the action. Sometimes we may have seen it, felt it, or it actually occurred to us. So sometimes we could be in the middle of, like, in the car when something happened. So we're actually in the action of it. We could be sitting in our crib and we are witnessing something happening between mom and dad, mom and babysitter, mom and friend, mom and family member, whatever the case is, there is an action that's happening that we're witnessing. Yeah. So it's important to start identifying those different triggers. So now that I've given you that information, what are some new triggers for you that you can think of that have actually been affecting you that you haven't actually considered until now? Can't wait to hear. Comment below.